Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now we're going to get our popcorn and then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car and I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Tyrese Gibson disappeared August the 22nd, 2020. He was last seen at his residence, picked up by a young lady named Brianna. 4 suspects have been arrested in the disappearance of Tyrese Gibson. The 4th suspect will be tried as an adult. Any information can help. If you know anything, please call Jacksonville Police Department 903-586-2549. If you see something, say something. Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Thinking about you, and I think I have to listen because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so bright, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There's so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
see this? Now you cannot go.
Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how is everybody doing? You guys, we've got a lot to cover tonight. So I want you guys to sit back and we're going to get right into I left my notes upstairs, but I got some things to share with you. It's not a lot, so I can kind of remember everything that I need to remember. You guys, we've got a special guest. We've got 2 guests coming on also. So let me share with you about the update on Quinton Simon. If you guys don't know, Quinton is a 20-month-old baby that came up missing in the Georgia area, in the Savannah, Georgia area. And I guess he came up missing on October the 5th. And everybody's been looking for this baby, 20-month-old. The babysitter said that she had got a text message from the family saying she was not needed to babysit. And then the grandmother called and said, "Have you seen Quinton?" And she says, "No." Well, he's missing. So how old is he? 20 months old. He's 20 months old. Someone was asking that question. Barely able to really walk good, And so the babysitter goes over to the house where Quinton was staying with the grandmother, the mother's boyfriend, and mom's boyfriend or husband. And they said they didn't want no help. They got in, And so the police was called. They've been looking for Quinton. They still looking for Quinton. You guys, I just want to share a little bit because we always want to keep everybody informed of what's going on, even if it's just a sentence or a minute worth of whatever. It's worth it because they have not found this baby. So there's been documentation and paperwork. What happened to the other children? There's 2 other children. There's a little girl and there's a little boy. The little boy's name is Zion. He's I think he's about 1 year older than Quinton. Don't quote me on how old he is. He's just still a baby. That's all I know. He's just older than Quinton, about 1 year older than Quinton. And then there's a little girl. Okay. So on October the 12th, you guys, that the state stepped in and took the children. Now on October the 14th, which was Friday, I believe it was Friday, they went to court. They found, the mother unfit or, to keep the children. They found the grandmother unworthy to keep the children because she had no business giving the children to her daughter to keep after the state had already took them from her and she went out of town to work. So I know a lot of people want to talk about that. How old is he? How old is who, Remy? What's going on? And thank you guys for sharing the live. Thank you guys for sharing the live. So anyway, and those are 5 days after. Oh, okay. Oh, you already answered? Okay. So anyway, if anybody wanted to know where's the children? Why are they, are they still with the grandmother? And we know that Zion's dad got on Facebook, you guys. He got on Facebook, said that he wanted his son and things will be hectic for him. But he's fearful that his son is in a bad situation and maybe he's not able to provide for him right now. But I guess that's going to be something he's working to get is his son out of that situation. And the 20-month-old just shy of 2. Okay, the 20-month-old and then just shy of 2. Right. So anyway, I'm going to tell you guys. Okay. Giorgio is in the building. If you didn't get my there's the StreamYard. I think I sent it to you. But as we were going over this today, that was going to be pretty much, if you guys got anything to say about that, please let me know. If you got any questions. They still haven't found Quinton. Zena says, I think Zion is 3. Okay, Zion could be 3. He could be. I just know that they said, okay, you got a 20-month-old, so he's almost 24. He's almost 2 years. So Zion will be probably going on 3 or 3. That sounds right about to me. Thank you, Zena. Thank you. So, we were talking about that. And I really wanted to go over some. Thank you, Star, for the spooky bat. Thank you. Thank you for the musical noise. And Giorgio, if you guys don't know, he's in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up because we were talking about we had a guest come on, Sarah Jane, and she was speaking for Nicole. Just like speaking to Nicole, when you speak to Sarah Jane, if she's a spokesperson for Nicole, you're speaking to Nicole because that's the person that Nicole has picked to speak for her. You know, and let me tie this around here because it's bothering me. Let me explain to you guys that on the Amori case, Amori Nicholson, that was the toddler that came up missing in Las Vegas, and we were down there covering that. And we had China on our team. We was mentoring China, and she has started up her own YouTube channel, which is great. And you know, anytime somebody goes to go see what's going on and knocking on doors, we want to always respect them. And they venture. That's what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to be underneath me 24/7 because, you know, that's not how we roll. But anyway, she did get us in touch with, well, not her get us in touch with Giorgio, but it was another young lady that was out there. And I guess she took the money for the shirts or whatever, never gave nobody their shirts. But nevertheless, that's how that works. Okay. Okay. So Taylor never did get the mother of Amori. She didn't get cited for anything, no neglect, no nothing. She said she didn't know, and she felt like Terrell Rose was telling her the truth and things of that nature. And so when she went out of town to visit her mother, Terrell Rose killed her child. And she said she didn't believe it. There's been other reports where she was arrested for prostitution and she got right back out. And then, you know, now there's a new situation comes up where her and a young lady got into it. And the young lady's name is Nicole. The story was that JD is the young man that been, you know, he came on being this good citizen. He was supposedly, he, you know, raised Amari and he was there for Amari and all of that other stuff. Well, JD was dating another young lady. Her name is Nicole, and somehow allowed Taylor to come stay with him because she's trying to quit being in the streets and prostituting or whatever. And somehow, what was told to us the last time we was on here live is that Nicole asked JD, was they effing? And Taylor comes from out of nowhere and start welling on this young lady named Nicole. I'm going to show you guys a picture. I just received this picture of how Nicole looked after the 5th day. And this is a pretty girl. But what she looked like when they got done beating, when Taylor got done beating the mess out of her, I'm going to show you guys a picture. And that's 5 days later. That's 5 days later. It's terrible. It's terrible. I have actually got in touch with well, Giorgio got it. We were talking, and so I got back in touch with Sarah Jane, which is the spokesperson for Nicole, and gave her the link. If she wants to come up, she can. I'm pretty sure I sent it to her. I told her to give me 15 minutes. And so I wanted to let you guys know who was coming up. And anytime that we have guests, make sure you stay respectful and let them ask questions and speak on what's going on. Because we were supposed to have Giorgio on a long time ago, but you guys know how it is. You know, I'm going to share something with you before they both come up here. And if they want to call, please put the number in the chat if they want to call and not show their face or whatever, because we want to make it comfortable for them. But not only this channel is for children, it's to prevent things from happening. And if you can speak to someone or speak life into someone and tell them if they're going a different route, please come up always. And okay, we got Sarah Jane in the building. If Sergio wants to come on, Sergio, I'm calling him Sergio, you guys. His name is Giorgio. I keep calling him Sergio. So sorry. But you know, anytime that you have anything positive to say, especially when somebody has lost a child, you guys don't know how that feels. I can't tell you how that feels. I can honestly tell you, I will not be able to tell you all the trauma that it's going to bring to your life. But how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Okay, we do have Giorgio in the chat. I did send him the link. I don't know if he knows how to get on. If Giorgio, you can't come up on the link that I sent you, I'll put the link back in the chat. There it is. You click on that link and you can come up, or you can call the numbers right there, 316-553-3056. You know the number. You can always call. And this is Nicole's spokesperson. How you been doing, Sarah?
I'm okay.
You know, I was looking over these cases. Did you send me a link saying he says I'm a call in? Okay, call on in. Did you send me a link saying that they're going to court in January?
No, that was for the boys, for the West boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, they go back to court October 24th, I believe.
Okay. Okay, we can hear backlash on the phone, Giorgio.
I turned it down.
Okay, go ahead, George.
I got two phones, so it's, you know.
Okay.
I'm watching on one and I'm talking on the other.
Okay.
But everyone, Sarah can hear you?
Yeah, they can hear you. Can you hear him, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right. Just going one day at a time, and yeah. So my Amari's birthday is coming up, so this is the hardest time of the year, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I always try to figure out what I'm gonna do, who I'm gonna do it with, you know. But at the end of the day, I just want to be there for my son and my daughter now. But I really want to talk about your friend Nikki. Like, when I watched the video of you and SG talking, and it's a roller coaster for me, you know. But I'm
sure it brought up a lot of emotions.
Yeah, but like I also learned, I learned a lot by other people reflecting and talking
Yeah.
strictly on this, around this place, because it's a lot of parts. It's the Terrell, it's Giorgio, it's JD, it's Taylor, it's everybody, and most importantly Amari. That is the main energy was from Amari. You know what I'm saying? So
You got Amari.
I
I did make sure to put Amari there.
Yeah, I see the picture.
but your friend Nikki now. Nikki's situation, like from what I was seeing, kind of reminds me of Taylor's situation, but not in a way that here's another single mother, in some type of whatever domestic violence relationship, and you know,
Can you hear him? I lost sound.
Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear him.
Hold on. I do not know what happened.
Okay,
One second.
Okay.
Okay, it's back. I was like, maybe it's my earbud. Let me grab my other one, but it's back on. So I can hear you now.
Yeah, but so like my main thing is this: like, if you've been watching the stories, you know, Taylor needs help. You feel me? Taylor, personally, I can speak on my position in this situation. I don't really want to speak on other people. I just want to speak on my experiences and what I see, how I feel. That's, you know, and what I think, my opinion. But she needs help. When I first met her, I opened my heart because I felt like she needed help. You know what I'm saying? So, caught in the love triangle. I don't know if everybody knows the story, whatever, but I ended up going to jail. Now, of course, I went to jail behind Taylor and JD, cooperating with the DA. You know, I was very surprised with that because she was carrying my child, you know, and she knew what my oldest son mentioned, you know, how much I loved him. Even her daughter, she had a daughter that I actually loved at that time. I still do. Like, you know, ain't no cold blood towards the children. But when she was going through these things, it's like, okay, she's young. Her influences, and I'm not no angel. I'm not gonna sit there and say I was an angel. When I was with Taylor, like, come on now, we was in Vegas. You know, we were experimenting, but yet we were, you know, together. And so when I'm in jail, I'm like, okay, I go to jail for this time, and I feel like she didn't know the situation she was getting herself into, like, because I know a single mother is going to struggle. So I'm calling her as soon as I get there, like, hey, I just want to know my son's name, this and that, that and this. And she's informed me, like, hey, I'm with JD. JD's going to take care of me, this and that. Yeah, okay. So I'm thinking, like, well, I can't do nothing about that. I'm just worried about my son. So fast forward to when I get out, Taylor's with somebody else, not Terrell, somebody else. And it kind of, you know, got to me. But I'm thinking now, I look back, like, she didn't have the right friends, you know. She didn't have the people around her saying, hey, maybe you should or maybe you shouldn't do this. Because once I heard that this woman is pregnant by JD and he's on his way to jail, you know, I'm like, she gonna go through it. She gonna go through it because this is her first child. Oh my goodness, she gonna go through it because it's her first child. She's gonna go through it because of what he did to her. You know, I ain't never had nobody put no.
And he's gonna miss out time with his first child because he lost his control, you know, of himself.
Yeah, he's gonna feel what I felt. He's gonna feel that because I had a son that was 6. Every day in there, I thought about Amari. Amari wasn't even born for the first 5 months I was in there. And I'm thinking about the future. Oh my goodness, what if something happens to him? That was the worst. That was the biggest thought every night. What if something happens to my son? I'm not gonna be there for him. See, a lot of people don't know I wasn't even supposed to be talking to Taylor. When you see me in these videos with my son, I wasn't supposed to be there. I understand her. I was sending stuff to her grandparents' house for my son. I wasn't, but I had to do what I had to do because I'm a father. And I look at Nikki. I'm like, at the end of the day, you know, that baby going inside of her that's a beautiful thing, you know. However, due to the situation, it can get really tough for her, like really, really, really tough. And like, that's cool that you're standing up with your friend, because it's a lot. I feel like it's going to come her way just by being a mother around the situation, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like, I really want to push out there, like, hey, she can do it. Like, just tell her you could do it. You know, my mom raised 7 kids, not by herself through the whole time, but you could do it. She could do it. But it's going to be hard. She's going to want JD to be there for the first birthday, hopefully, you know, in her head, because that's her child's, you know. I was still talking to Taylor. JD had to block, I don't know what happened. They blocked my number or something. I wasn't able to talk to my son until I had 3 ways going. But yeah, I was still talking to Taylor. So it made sense that, hey, at the end of the day, she knows who the father is. And, you know, can anybody really replace that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but I learned with my first son, for the first 3 years or you know, he can't talk. I had to wait till my son could talk, you know. So that time was the hardest, because when you're away from the child, you just don't know. Like, now I talk to my daughter distantly, just like I was talking to Amari. It kills me looking at my child on the screen. I can't smell them. I can't feed them. You know, it kills me. Like, it's torture. And when I see that, I'm like, damn, they about to go through something like that, maybe, because they're at a distance and they're not coming to a conclusion for this child. You know what I'm saying? So I just really want you to motivate your friend to put that child first. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no better gift than that. You can't get nothing better than that. Yeah, JD, you know, he's a man like I'm just a man. We're not perfect, you know. I don't approve of everything he did with it, like, you know, but I don't really want to speak bad on people like that. I'm not here to bring negative energy. So time. If anybody can hear my voice, if they can reach out to that girl, man, reach out to that girl. Man, look that girl up, because it's hard.
Yeah, she does need a lot of support, although she is a very strong woman.
Yeah, it's a very, like, especially in Vegas, I can only imagine. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine, like, the things she's going through. But I just hear the story, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the main thing I want to put out there. Just tell that girl, keep on going, don't give up, you know. Put that baby first, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Can I ask you a couple questions, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
I'm just curious because you know Taylor on a personal level. So although you weren't around her for many years, I'm just wondering if you can just give us a little insight on her character, besides what you just gave. Like, is this surprise you she did this, or is this something like, oh, this is something Taylor would do? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, since I can look back like a regular person like you guys, we can all look back. Okay, all the times Taylor was by herself, and all the times she was standing next to a man, which one of those times do you think she was Taylor? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I was a person, like, I used to, if you look at Taylor, like, I know she's creative. I'm going to give you an example. You guys seen her pictures, you know. You guys seen what she looked like over time. When I was with Taylor, she was very beautiful, and she had this talent with makeup. She was very creative. I had a studio.
She is very beautiful, yes. I will give her that.
I haven't seen her in but she had that talent of makeup.
Yeah.
I see a lot of girls that do makeup, and I told her, "Hey, you're very creative. That means your mind can create things. You know, you have an ability. You have knowledge. You just don't know." I said, if you went to school, you could apply the right formulas. I should say formulas to your, So I sit back and look, and when I seen her on TV, you know what I'm saying? It was like, that's not her. You know what I'm saying? That's not her.
Wow.
Taylor,
Well, the life she was living can really take a toll on you like that.
Oh yeah.
For sure. I was just curious if like she had a violent streak to her to where she would snap like that, no matter the circumstances.
Well,
And if you haven't seen that side, I mean, that's okay. I was just curious if you had.
Yeah, but she was a mother before.
Right.
A long time ago, she was a mother a long time ago. So I can only imagine how she felt not being able to be a mother when she was a mother. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Because I can say it like, man, it was
very young.
She said, "Hey, I want a baby on Valentine's Day. We together?" Hey, boom, bam, 9 months later. Yeah. So it was like, I understand because we both sitting here and we don't have our children, and we're both working, We are both working jobs. She met JD at the job that I helped her get. You know what I'm saying? So we were both working. I was a server host. He was a server host. So we had our little thing going. So I really don't see. I honestly feel like the environment was a big thing on her too. You know what I'm saying? Vegas.
Yeah.
The potential, like you have potential. You can do a lot of things here. You know what I'm saying? And like, just looking back at this, it's a lot. I'm sorry. Hold up.
Yeah, I live in Vegas, so I get what you're saying. It's a rough place to live, and you have to, be very strong-minded to stay on the right track. I do know that a personal friend of mine was trying to help her get a resume together and get her a job and get her on the straight and narrow and everything, and she just fell out. She wasn't all that interested in it, so unfortunately, like even when help is offered to the girl, she just don't want it.
And that's what I'm saying, because at that time, like, man, like, okay, I'm gonna just be real. Like, everybody seen my family and stuff. Like, yeah, if I reach out to them, but everybody's not gonna stand up for you willingly, And at that time, I did have a lot of support, but when I'm alone, hell yeah, I cry. Can't nobody change the way I feel when I see my son. Like, I see him, I'm just heartbroken, but, I use it to push on. But at those times, I'm like, damn, Taylor, I wish I had somebody that helped me with a job. I had 8 jobs in the last year. I have confrontations at work because of the energy I have behind my son. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like, oh, man, I wish I would have did this or did that. It's just like, I feel like she doesn't have the right support anymore. Like, who is it? You walking down the street all days and night. Like, who's going to say, hey?
And she was offered some really awesome support. And I know you're talking about growing up and stuff like that in her path, but there's a time where you get to a place and it's like, okay, maybe I need to change my route. Like, maybe this is a wake-up call, especially the situation that went down. It's like, okay, maybe I need to change my lifestyle. I lost my son. Like, you would think that would have been the biggest wake-up call. And she turned down all this awesome, amazing resources and help. Like, and I guess she was probably in a place where she was like, maybe she, she didn't want to exist. Who even knows? She had been through the situation. I can't speak for her. I can only say what I've witnessed of her. I can't speak what's in her head, but I can just say what I've observed.
Yeah, because like once you just said that, like that should be the wake up call to get your life together, man. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like I say, I didn't even think I didn't think my son was dead. I didn't have that thought. I just thought they was hiding my son. You know that? I
Right.
was driving around Vegas in circles on F in a Hyundai that I rented. I went to everywhere I could. I didn't think my son was dead until they told me. And at that moment, you know, I just had to take it in. And then I'm like, okay. And I had support. People, the main thing they said, either it's going to make you, Giorgio, it's going to break you. I said, it's going to make me. But it is so hard, you know? Especially if you don't love yourself. You see? When I'm all alone, I have to pull me up. I gotta say, Giorgio, you can do it. You got your kids. They are beautiful. They love you. I gotta do it. And me personally, knowing Taylor, she doesn't love herself like she should. You know what I'm saying? I sit back and look like, oh man, like damn girl, you could have went to school. When I seen her prostitute, I was like, I was so. See, look, I was putting stuff on the internet, you know, but I was going through emotions. I look back now like, what the hell, you know? I look back now like, what was I doing? What was I? But then I said, damn, I was out of my mind. People walk up to me and they know who my son is. They know who I am. They say, I don't know what I would do if my son was killed. And I look at them and I say, I don't know what I would do either. Sometimes I don't say nothing. Well, lately I don't say nothing because I realize, hey, sometimes it does get out of the control mentally, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just got to walk out the house. And the neighbors, hey, where his shoes at? You know? Or especially like drinking, smoking, the drugs are involved. I don't do none of that. But, hey, if you don't love yourself, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to get involved in that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I feel like if she loved herself more, she valued herself, her children more, she wouldn't be in the situation she was in, you know?
Yeah. And that could, you know, could be true. I'm trying to figure out, like, you know, experiencing herself, what she experienced with your guys' child, how she could harm a pregnant woman. That's where I'm at. Like, I don't know if she's using something. I don't know if it was jealousy. We really don't know. I mean, it's unexplainable. Like, it's unexcusable, and I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, I got a couple of questions. I'm trying to keep it light, you know, because I look at it one way, you know, like a lot of people. I was in prison with Terrell. Terrell knew Amari like I did. I was getting pictures in the mail from my family that were stealing the pictures, you know what I'm saying, from her Facebook and all that. And then I had my pictures in the book, and I showed Terrell, I show everybody, hey, look, that's my son. Oh, yeah. What you in here for? Oh, man, my baby mama lied on me with her boyfriend. So everybody knew, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew. So now I sit back and look like, I don't think everybody knows the truth. And that's why I was saying the truth is so powerful. Like, it's also dangerous because like when I was watching you guys' video and I seen that she still had content of her fans only with her and Terrell, I'm like, damn. That blew my I'm like,
for at least a week, it was at least a week.
That blows my mind right there. Like, that blew my mind. I found out today by watching, you know, I skip over stuff. But that blew my mind. I'm like, damn. I'm like, wow. You know? And I'm like, Terrell was gone. JD, I don't know if he was sitting next to her or whatever, but, like, what would push you to do that? Like, what in your head tells you that's okay, you know? And I'm thinking, like, all the shit we've been through, you know?
Yeah.
But this is what I wanted to, like, I I have a couple of questions because I'm on the inside and it's hard for me to look from the outside if you get, if you know what I mean. Like, I have my opinion on the news. I have my opinion on Taylor. I have my opinion on everybody. But I kind of want to see, like, what other people think. Because, like, let's say this situation. Somebody called me from New York, not California, not Nevada, not Chicago, New York. Sergio, yeah. Man,
I know who you're talking about. That's my girl.
Yeah, that's cool people. She cool people.
She is. She really is.
And I'm like, what? And she like, yeah. And the first thing I said, well, she knew what to tell me. She said, hey, they went to jail for beating up a pregnant girl. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows, like, if they was fighting some hooker, I wouldn't care. But I'm like, damn, what, like, where was the boundaries here? And nowadays, if you do look in the media with stuff that's going on, these people are caring less and less and less and less about our children. Like,
yes, I agree.
I get on here and I look at Amari's stuff on YouTube just to see if anybody what they're saying, because once somebody put my whole arrest record up there, my government, everything. I'm like, what was the point of that?
That unfortunately is what they do when it's a very high profile case or very, you know what I mean? They put everyone in the family under the bus. But I recall that you had put a video up, and I don't think it was after you got out of jail and you went to see your son at the park with Taylor. And I don't think she knew you were recording her, and she had apologized to you for putting you in jail wrongfully. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I looked and I couldn't find that video anywhere, and I was like, I remember it being posted though.
Yeah, it's a screenshot. It's in the phone I'm on now. This is my phone I had since Amari. Like, everything is in this. Because
a lot of people missed that. A lot of people didn't see that, and I'm like, that's like, you can't get it from the horse's mouth more than that. She was straight up telling you, I am sorry that I wrongfully put you in jail. And I just wanted to make that clear right now for everybody watching.
Yeah, that's the part of you and SP's conversation that stood out a lot. When you both acknowledged that, it made me feel like, hey, wait a minute. Because I kind of gave up with I'm like, man, I'm not going to talk to nobody. They think I'm a pimp. I honestly felt like the news put me in that image. I want to ask you a question behind that, but I feel like the news put me in an image related to the backstory. The backstory is bigger than the front. The front story is, hey, this beautiful child was murdered,
Right.
But the backstory is, oh man, the mama's a prostitute with this guy, and then this guy's over here with that. It's a soap opera. Everybody wants to know. When I go to the stores, people walk up to me and say, hey, I was following the story. That's all they say. They don't say, hey, I'm sorry for your son.
Yeah, like, what the heck?
Yeah, when I start looking at them crazy, but they say, I was following the story. And I'm like, well, you don't know the story. You couldn't, because there's a lot of pieces of the story that are just now coming out. And I love with this internet, because I'm not going to be putting myself out there and then walk outside and you got 6 people that feel some type of way about Giorgio, and then look, let me do something, and I bet you'll see me on the news in the morning. I bet you.
Right.
I'll be the first thing, the father of Amari Nicholson. Because if you look at the views they got with JD and Taylor when he was there, but look how many views they got. At least 6 million altogether. At least 6 million. They had
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to let you know that I very much supported you through this. I don't know if you probably don't remember, you were going through a lot. I did make some pictures for you and had posted them in the group. And I did make sure to put you in the light that wasn't negative, if that makes sense. So I just want you to know I really am sorry. I've said it to you before. You probably don't remember, but I am sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry for what they put you through before, during, and after, to be honest.
I appreciate that. But everyone must know the prayers is what gets me through. You know, everybody got to know that. Like, the hardest, you want to know the routine for me? I cry, I pray, I cry, I get down on my knees, I pray, I stand up, and then I wake up. You know? Because it's so much. But I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask. Can you hear me still?
Yes, she can hear you.
There was something going on in the background.
Right.
Sorry, my kids.
Oh.
I just had to remind them, Mommy's busy. Hush.
Hey, that's crazy. That was my first question. Is you a mother?
I am. I have two boys, 14 and 11.
Have they given their opinion about what happened to Amari?
They know what I do. They do see and hear a lot about the cases that I cover, follow, support, make groups for, or are in groups for. They do know about Amari, and they are very saddened. I did go on a little ride, and because I was at the memorial, and then we did a last ride and honked our horns, and we had our signs and paint on the windows and everything. So they were very aware of Amari, and they don't understand. They don't understand why it happened, and I try to explain to them, you know, there's boogeymen out there that are real humans, and it's not just nightmares, you know, and unfortunately it can happen to anyone, children or adults, and I try to explain that to them, and they are well aware, and you know, stuff like that. But yeah, they were very heartbroken over it. It made them really sad when I was getting my signs ready to go for the ride. So
what stood out most to you at the beginning of the Amari case? Was it the search for Amari? Was it, you know, the Facebook? What was it that?
A couple things that stood out the most for me. Number one, being that she, and it was just intuition, gut feeling, and it was odd to me that she kept detouring everyone from the McDonald's. We couldn't meet up. No one could meet up with her there for just to talk, even. Like, it was weird. And then go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. And then the second thing that stood out to me that was odd was watching the interview of her and Terrell on the news. I could just read the body language. You could tell she was starting to figure things out. So
that's a tough question to ask people, because I don't like it when
and then about her mother throwing her under the bus and it going back and forth between her and her mom. That was sad to see during a time like that.
Oh,
that just shouldn't have been public, period. It just shouldn't have been.
I seen her and her mother's relationship. I actually moved Taylor in with her mother. I did. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I just feel like everybody needs their parents, you know. So, what about Terrell? Did you know I was in prison with him?
Yes, I did. I remember everything I seen and heard. Like, even if people don't remember it because it's been deleted now or whatever, I have it up here. I do remember that you guys were in prison together, and that they put you there by lying on you together, and then started dating, and that he did help raise Amari, and from the pictures I see, he was good to your son. So I was a little blindsided when I found out about this and what he did to his baby's mama, you know?
When I first seen, the first picture I seen of Terrell was Terrell, Amari, and and Taylor in the Lakers jersey.
And then didn't you know Terrell too? And then so did JD? Like you all three knew each other at some point, correct?
I don't know about their relationship. However, yeah,
Oh, you didn't know Terrell like that at all?
No, I met Terrell in prison. We were in the same unit for 8 months together.
See, that's what I thought. So you was in jail with JD and with Terrell at some point, correct?
No. JD was out with Taylor raising Amari, and I was in prison with Terrell.
Okay, I thought for some reason I thought you knew JD from prison as well. So you knew him before you went in. That was just had nothing to do with jail.
Yeah, I only met JD one time. I was at the house, and Taylor came home with him, not knowing I was there.
And that's when everything went down. Okay.
Yep. What else? Oh, I want to ask you about the DA. This DA in Vegas, because, you know, I posted something. I said, who is the death penalty made for? Is it made for the people that kill children? So, like, what was your opinions when they said, oh, we're not seeking the death penalty?
Well, I will say, even though we do have the death penalty here in Nevada, we don't implement it and haven't in years. I don't know why. Like I was telling Nicole, sadly, people who hurt animals or cats get more time than the people that hurt children. And I think that goes for a lot of states, not just here, but I don't want to say anything too bad about law enforcement because, you know, that I am an advocate for the missing here and I'd like to work with them when I need to. But I will say that they have a lot on their plate that they can't handle. Like with all these missing people, they don't go out looking for these runaways or missing teens that could be in trouble. They don't go out looking for missing adults. The nonprofit organization Vegas Angels does, and I help families too. Like we're the ones that help them and help them find their loved ones because the police just make the report and put it out there, you know. And so it's a crazy system that they have here. So I don't know why they wouldn't go for the death penalty. The only thing I can think of is because he showed some remorse.
Okay.
And even tried grabbing the gun from the officer and wanting to end it. And so, and plus he, even though he failed the lie detector test, he still confessed. And so I think they are giving him a little bit of a break because of that.
Exactly.
He'd probably get life in prison, probably die in prison anyway. So a lot of people think that's a waste of food, water, breath, air, whatever. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about death penalty. I have an aunt who was murdered, and the guy got away with it. So I strongly believe in the death penalty. I think in a lot of cases it should happen. But you can't make it. And I don't know. I really can't understand why the DA would decide that.
Well, with them coming out early and they already had found the baby, his confession, sometimes they don't want to go and drag out and spend a lot of money for court. So they can get a confession. They'll give them the option to take the death penalty off the table. You know, and a lot of people
like a deal, yeah. So that could be the case as well.
Because they said that they wasn't looking for the death penalty. They said that early, very early, before they went to court.
Because he'll probably get life in prison plus the extra charges that he, you know, I don't know if I can't remember exactly what the charge is. If it was attempted murder on an officer because he did grab the gun and they all scuffled over it. You all saw that. So they were trying to figure out if he was going to hurt himself or them, but he still has those charges too. So smack those on top of what he did, and he ain't getting out, ever. So maybe they thought that was enough. If it was my child, though, I would be in the courtroom and I would be talking to the DA, and I would be trying to find out if you really have questions. You have a right still as his dad. You call the DA and ask them, why isn't he getting the death penalty? How can I pursue that if as his parent? And that's what I want to see. Like, you know what I mean? And just see what they tell you. And that's all. That's the advice I can give you for that.
I'm gonna say this on the reason I asked that, because I'm from Chicago, right? Last week I just had another death in my family, murdered by gun violence, right? So
so sorry.
If I look at it like I grew up out there, street justice is very big in Chicago. Let's keep it.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
If I was there, that would, it. But maturing and after being in prison, and I sit back and I think, well, if you're gonna do it the right way, then go for it the right way. You know what I'm saying? But personally, like, I'm healing still. But when it first started, I feel like I was painted as a monster,
Right.
And that's why I didn't want to go up to the court with, loud and blow horns, and
right.
I didn't do all that because I didn't want to be a target. And that brings me back to your friend Nikki. Do you think she's going to be in danger because of this situation? I seen you guys talking about the restraining orders and stuff like that. Do you honestly think you'll be in danger?
I spoke with her about it, and I almost didn't do the first live because I told her, I'm more concerned about your well-being and your safety. And she said, well, say you had already done the live 3 days ago before he posted the bail. She said it would have already been out there, and I really want my story told, and I want this told for Amari and for this whole situation. Like, this is what his mom is really like. This is what JD is really like. Like, they're phony, and she just wanted to put that out there. I talked about safety with her, and she feels like she's okay. She's going to do the restraining orders and stuff. I talked to her about all the scenarios that could happen. So she's just very much wanting to still move forward with telling her story. So I don't know if she's going to be in danger. No, not that I know of. No, actually, no, just no. She would have told me because she could trust me. I told her we had that little talk, but right now nothing's really changed. He did post bail. It takes up to a week to get out on the electronic monitor, so could be 3, 4, 5 more days. I would say 3, 4 because it's already been a few. But she doesn't seem to be too worried about her safety. I mean, she could be being naive. I mean, I'm worried about her safety just regardless because, he's facing a lot of time, and then, putting his business out there can be a little scary too, but it is what it is. And
we have somebody in the chat asking, Sanja is saying at Sarah Jean, also ask him to send an impact letter and ask others to send an impact letter.
I see that. Yeah, most definitely.
Yep, because you have rights, and so you should be talking to the DA if you feel like you have questions that need to be answered. And if you want to be heard, it doesn't have to be with a bullhorn out in front of the courthouse. Just get on that phone and you make sure you're heard if you have to call every day. you know, and just be like, I want to be a part of it. I want updates. I want communication. I want a line of communication with you. And I want to know, you know, just ask why did you take the death penalty off the table and not, you know, see how the family felt about it first. Because a lot of states will see how the family feels about it before they take it off or leave it on. Unless, like you said, they make some kind of agreement with the criminal. So,
I don't know if you guys remember, but I had to fight for a funeral. I had to fight for everything.
Yep.
You know? And I got tired of fighting. I'm like, I'm not finna. That's how I feel, because if I'm sitting there putting my energy into that and I get off the phone, that affects me. You know what I'm saying? It does. I still call my kids. I still talk to my nephews, you know. So
yeah.
But I'm taking my time with the approach on the courts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you got any more questions for me? Anything?
The only thing I can say is if you need anything, reach out. You can reach out to me. Of course, you know, you can reach out to Slim and you can reach out to SP. Nicole wants me to give SP her number so you guys can get in touch and talk. So I'll do that after the live. I'll make sure to give Nicole's number to SP for you so you can call and talk to her. I don't really have any more questions at this time. Just wanted to know how you were doing and everything, but you know, you covered that a bit. Make sure you are taking care of you. If you feel like you're losing it a little bit, just reach out to any of us, or, you know, like I said, there's plenty of resources out there. I know it feels strange going and getting counseling or help. Nobody likes to do it, but if you feel like you're to a point to where you need to, then absolutely, please do.
Yeah, because honestly, like, this has been a learning experience. I have reached out to certain organizations and people and resources, and I can tell you that everybody I reached out to said like I was crazy. You know, just because I'm dressed nice or have a car, and I sit there, I'm like, wow, like, is this what everybody deals with that's going through? Because everybody says if you have any mental issues or get help, but if somebody walks up to you with no shoes on, no shirt on, hair crazy, and they say, hey, I need help, honestly, how are you going to treat that person? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm going to take them in the house and get them warm, get them some shoes and a shirt, and give them a hug and be like, what you need, baby boo. But it is hard with the professional help, and that's why I said if you don't feel, you know, if you feel more comfortable where you get more support from just regular people that aren't professional, you just need someone to talk to, that type of thing, we're all here. Because like I said, I do know it's hard to go for the professional help. They do make you feel some type of way. Just me having anxiety and having talked to it there, but they make you feel worse before than when you walked in. Like, I get it. Yes. So.
Yeah. Like, but yeah.
Okay.
I know. I don't know if anybody in the chat wants to ask me questions, or I don't know, but
yeah, they were listening, and they support you, Giorgio. They support you.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
I know it is.
It's hard. So I was thinking about going out there on his birthday to the gravesite.
Right.
Well, you know, if you need to, 1 second, please. Sorry.
And you can call anytime you want, you know.
When you do come out, if you need some support, if you want anyone to go with you, or you want to do it alone, that's understandable too. But if you feel like you need support, reach out. You know, you've got support. Just know that.
Yeah, I've been solo for the last month. I deleted all my friends on Facebook because a lot of people around me are affected by this. Like, seriously, my family, my son, my brothers, my sisters, they're all affected by this. So I really gotta be cautious and consider, you know, because they're my biggest support, and I don't want to hurt my support, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very thin line, and it's very hard. And I'm sure they understand, you know.
Do you think Taylor was prostituting with JD? I wanted, because I get a lot of opinions on that, but I wanted to know what you think. Because if she in that last video, someone called and said, "Hey, I seen her 5 days ago." 5 days ago, and if she's living with Terrell currently, and she's actively prostituting, like, do you guys think that he was involved, or how do you guys feel about that? Because when you hear that and you look at that person that was standing up there with Taylor, now I'm curious of what people think, you know, because I see a lot of women saying, "Hey, I thought he was nice, he was supportive." You know what I'm saying?
Right. I will say JD was working a real job. I will say that I
want people to think, because it's all about what I said in the beginning. Taylor needs help. So I can put you in my car. I could take you to a host show. I could take you to a job interview. I could take you to church. I could take you to your mama's house. So, you know, I don't know what I don't know what they had going on. But when I sit back and look at the time frame and all that, it's like, I don't know. Because I feel like if that was me and Taylor, you know, if that was Jersey and Taylor, oh my goodness. They would be like, "Oh, he's a dude, he's a pimp. We knew it."
He's pimping her. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people think about JD. But from what Nicole says is that she was trying to leave the prostitution, and that's why she moved in with JD. And I don't know if she was looking for a real job or not. And I'm sure she still had to do her little thing until she figured something out. I mean, she had no problems doing it without a pimp and doing it alone and going to the casinos and soliciting to undercover police officers multiple occasions. So I don't think just because she's with the man, he's her pimp. And I hope nobody else thinks that either. I'm not saying he is or isn't, because I really don't know. But from what I hear, which is hearsay, but from what I hear, no, he wasn't. Nothing like that. Apparently he was trying to help her. But he was just, you know, seeing multiple women and telling them different stories and lying to them, and it all got entangled.
Wow.
At some point.
Okay.
It sounds like you think he's a good guy.
I think he's a great guy for taking care of your son like he did. I don't think he's a great guy for putting you in jail for no good reason. So okay. I do try to see the good in people as well as what's very clear and apparent. You know, everyone has good in them. And it's up to them to decide who or what they're going to be, you know, and everyone makes mistakes too. But this one was pretty severe for me. This one is pretty bad.
Right.
This really changed my mind a lot about him.
If my friend sent somebody to prison, right, and raise his son, like,
oh Lord.
Okay.
I don't know how to be proud of him doing that, you know?
I know.
Real talk.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I
you gotta keep in mind, Amari wasn't my only child. I have a junior, and I had a child on those years of his life. And if JD knew that or knew anything of me, you know,
right.
So how you sitting there being a father when you took away this child's family already. My mom,
Yeah.
my grandfather, my family never even met Amari. All the family you've seen, they never even met Amari. But that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Right.
you never know what somebody's true intentions are. But I just can't see the beauty in that. That boy had on my shoes in those pictures on the news with my son, talking about that's his son. But I don't expect you guys to know what that feels like, because I'm sitting in prison for something I didn't even do. So how could anybody be proud of that for him?
Right. Right.
It wasn't me, Taylor, and JD standing side by side. I had my liberty then. I could have been standing next to JD and Taylor. Matter of fact, I tried. My family said, hey, that ain't a good idea. I said, shit, I'll stand up there side by side with anybody behind my son. If it pop off, hey. But then I'm the bad guy, you see?
You're
When I
not,
stand up,
Giorgio,
because
you're not the bad guy. I don't think everybody knew your story. I don't think, and then exactly the way that you put it, I felt the pain, because I don't think everybody knew that you got put in jail and he got to raise your son. I don't think people knew that. But that is a very painful situation.
well, that's torture. If I put anybody away from their kids, like now, I'm away from my daughter. That's torture for me. Even if Amari was alive, that's torture. Like, honestly, it's torture.
Yeah.
But being in prison, it's like, okay, you know about me, bro. I'm calling your house. I'm calling your house. You know about me. So how you gonna block that? You know, like I'm a step dad. I never blocked nothing. I never blocked no blessing or not tried to. So I'm like, how is that? And I feel like it's a envy, because it's like, if I was Taylor and I get, hey, what did she have to tell him to not, you know, what did she tell him to where he's like, because me, I'd be like, hey, you need to take them kids to their daddy. They need to go. They need their dads. Yeah. You know. And where was that in JD if he's such a good father? Because any girl, I've been dating girls with kids since high school. You could go look. I've been dating kids since girls with kids since high school. I've been a stepdad when I was 15. That's how long I've been taking care of kids, since I was 15 in high school. Everybody that knows me knows it. So all those people are looking like, hell no. You know? Right. And I got to speak up for them, because they're like, Giorgio, like, did he even know that you were this type of dad? Taylor knew, but did she tell him? And if he did know, to get up there, he never said, hey, I made a mistake. I sent this man to prison, so therefore I felt obligated to take care of his son. I would have respected that. Like, okay, you felt obligated because you put me in the situation. When I turned around and seen JD and Taylor in that courthouse, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked because I didn't do it. I'm like, shit, I'm about to go home tomorrow. I was shocked because I didn't do it. Just like I was shocked when I found out my son was killed. At that moment, I had to accept something that I never thought I would even think of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm not knocking it. I was just wondering, because on the end, like I said, I'm on the inside, and I want to see how people think from the outside, because every day,
right,
I'm that dad, you know, every day, like, through all this, I could stand up and say that, like, man, guess what? Man, I'm one of the best dads I know.
Right.
And that's coming from my son, you know, that's coming from my kid's mother, you know, and I'd be like, damn. And I just want to, it's big to me on parents' opinions with it, you know, because I wasn't there for those years, you know, like my son's mother, like, I know you went to prison for something you didn't do, so here's a chance you can do this with your son and do that, you know, and they have to accept that. And I'm like, damn, how couldn't he accept that? And then when I got, he wasn't even with JD.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even a thought. When I got out, she wasn't with Terrell. I don't even think he was a thought. I was her main thought, because she wanted to meet up with me. Man, look, I don't even know if they knew this, but Taylor had me meet up with her at the Boulevard Mall in Las Vegas before I even met my son. I had to meet up with her before I met my son. Like, she didn't know. Like, she didn't know me. And I brought my girl along. I'm like, well, my woman, you know, I'm like, hey, we're going to do this because I got to do whatever I got to do to get to this baby boy.
Yeah.
And then what she say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Right.
She say, walk over here. Guess what? I'm going to walk. She say, bring this. I'm going to bring it. I don't care because it's my son. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I just want people to look at it different ways.
Right.
You know, mostly the mothers out there, like Nikki, you know, because I don't know what she knew about JD. You know, that's your partner. You know, I don't know her. I don't know what she knew about him, but the mindset, I sit back and be like, damn, we all make mistakes, you know? We all make mistakes, but that's why I'm telling you guys, like, hey, push that woman forward, you know? I'm not on JD or Taylor support team or a Terrell support team at all. There's no hate with me. There is no hate. You know, I pray for my enemies all the time. And honestly, you guys want to know something crazy? Yeah, I'm really telling you this. I prayed. I said, God, this is the first time I did this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, God, any weapon formed against me shall not prosper. The next day, I got that message saying, hey, Taylor's in jail. And I couldn't, it wasn't a joy. It wasn't a joy because I said, hey, that's what it is, you know? It wasn't a joy from that.
Right.
You know? Like when I posted, when she went to jail for prostitution, I was serious when I said, hey, y'all, if you ain't never sat in a jail cell before, then let me tell you it's hard. And if you ain't never lost no child before, let me tell you it's hard. So to put those two together, man, that's crazy.
Right.
But what do it look like? Like how is God gonna bless Giorgio if I'm sitting here like, yeah, lock them up forever? It's not like I want the death penalty on Terrell. It's not that I want to see him dead, but I want people to acknowledge how severe this is. This is a child. It's just a child. It's not a man. It's a child. You know.
Right.
And I look to my left, the little boy in Georgia. I look to my right, the child in Florida. I said, man, it's just speeding up every day. It's more and more.
Right.
I see the Trump fight and the TI. They're going towards the children. Like I'm gonna get at your kids because I know I'm gonna bring it out of you. And it's true. You say something about Amari, man, look. You say something about my son. Nowadays, look.
Right.
So I know it's true, and that's why I just want the community to value the children. That's why when I thought about that sweet girl Nikki, I was like, damn, whatever happens, man, just put that baby first. It's gonna be all type of distractions and this and left and right. The DA, the courts, everybody. At the end of the day, it's just you and what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Giorgio.
But yeah, I gotta go.
No, we appreciate exactly what you're putting out there, that positive energy.
That's why because it's sad. They look, man, when I'm in the school and I see a kid,
Right.
and I start crying, and they don't know they don't know.
Right.
And sometimes I look at the parents in the eyes, they be like, damn, what's wrong with that kid? They be like, what's wrong with him? And they don't know. I seen the mother, right, and she was getting out the car and the baby off running to the street, you know. And she seen me before she seen the child. And I know in my face, I know my energy. See, it's all in the, I know my energy was just, she took off running. And when she grabbed that child, she didn't even look in my direction because she knew she would. You know?
Right.
And I just want people to be held accountable. The parents, honestly, you know.
Right.
Well, not accountable, but be aware. Be aware of what's going on with these kids. People don't care, you know. These girls are, oh, man, I be hearing some stuff. These girls are 14 years old out here selling their bodies. These girls are 15 saying they're 21 on Fans Only.
Right.
Everybody on Taylor's Fans Only. I'm like, man.
Right.
They told me to make a fan. Do you know they told me to make a Fans Only?
No.
Said, hey,
Well, it can be used for other things. It's not just for, you know,
Yeah, but that's what comes to mind. We all know what fans only.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's like going on Pornhub looking for photos when you can watch video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's keep it real.
Exactly.
We got to keep it real. And that's what I'm saying. This backstory is so big. This thing could go on forever. It could be details, you know. It could be details we never knew. Like, hey, Giorgio used to talk to Terrell's sister, didn't know it. You know?
Right. Right.
It could be stuff you got to be like, wow.
Yeah.
But that's all. I just wanted to open my big mouth. But I really had your friend Nikki. You know, I don't know. I don't want it to make it weird. You know, it's not that weird to me. Like talking to her, but I think it's kind of cool that you in between this and just get that message to her. Just keep going. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when you by yourself, because you're gonna be the one to pull you up. You can take what everybody's saying into consideration, but you're going to be the one to pull you up.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I would tell Taylor, you're going to be the one to pull you up.
Exactly.
And you can't help somebody that don't want to be helped. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just hate, like I said, that's always going to be my son's mother, you know? So it's kind of like embarrassing. It's like, damn.
Right.
It is. It's kind of embarrassing. It is. I had to get past that part because I get on here. Hey, your baby mama's a hoe. All your baby mama's hoes. Because it's not. See, we say, hey, was JD pimping? Oh, we don't know. But hey, we know Taylor was a prostitute, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want your friend to feel that pressure when she really ain't got you. You know.
Yeah.
That's all. It's nothing but love over here, you know.
Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for calling in and sharing with us. And I hope that you come back and call whenever you can. Call whenever you want to. You can.
Well, I appreciate that.
We appreciate you. Somebody in the chat, Cole, let me ask this one question. Cole, are you asking how can I get in touch with him? Who's him are you talking about, Cole? I want to answer that question before I get off of here.
And I just want to say, Giorgio, I'm glad you finally got up and told your story and your feelings. And I know it took you a long time because you had a hard time with it. You were going to do it and then you didn't, and you were going to do it and then you didn't. And it's just good to see that you're finally out here saying your piece.
The guy on the...
I want to thank you because, like, see that fear, you know, it's like, it's just what we don't know, you know? And once you push through that, it's like, I know I'm not trying to hurt nobody, you know? So why not?
Right.
Why not? But, you know, there's limits to it and stuff like that, you know? Because, hey,
right.
Think about it. JD got caught with a gun, right?
Yep.
So what if JD bumped into Giorgio in public? Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen. We don't want y'all to bump into each other.
No, but I'm just saying it's good to hear you use your voice and to get your emotions and your thoughts and feelings out there and to actually tell your story that nobody really knew. And I mean, I wish you would have been able to do it a lot sooner, but it's understandable that you didn't because it was hard.
Oh, you want to know something? I actually did, but I was silenced. You know, I can sit here and actually tell you. I'm not gonna say no names, but there were major platforms, international. You know, I talk to people that you see on TV every day for hours, like through that. I know I got numbers that I can't believe it. They didn't air the truth at all.
See,
they didn't air the truth at all. They got me in my suit. If you look back at that, the day that Terrell and Taylor sat there for 28 minutes, I sat there for 45 minutes in front of the Metropolitan. And I only got, 2 seconds of that video. 2 seconds of 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So if they would have put the 45 minutes out the same time that 28, I think a lot of people, well, I don't know, because, I feel like everything's based on time, it's still going. The trial's still in April. Telling what could happen from here to then,
Right.
But that's the thing, and like I thank SP for that, because it's like a lot of people they're not consistent with relationships. They're not consistent as parents. They're not consistent in nothing they do. They call off work. They don't clean their tubs. They don't clean their feet. Look at all these girls wearing flip flops, dirty feet. They don't clean their feet. They don't love themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how can I expect this news or these reports? But I got a lot of love for SP, because they've been on the ground. I met them in person on the ground. You know what I'm saying? They took me to the grave, the first grave of my son, I should say. I go there every time I'm in Vegas. People don't even recognize, who is that guy hopping that wall?
Yep. I was so scared you was gonna fall too. When I was watching that video, I was cringing. I'm like, oh my gosh, because you just went boop boop boop. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. A lot of people stole that off of the show. They was like, I stole it from USB. I was like, you know what? I don't care what you take from this page over here. Put it out there.
I don't know what's making me want to say this, but I want everybody to know I never got to see my son's body. I wanted to see it so bad, and they would not let me see that body.
Yeah.
Then it must have been for the right reasons, and it was not meant for you to see him, honey.
Wait. But we gotta be real. In reality, we hear about all these murders. If they show what that looked like, if they show the world what it actually looked like my father said, he said, son, they put him in the ground for 6 days at 100 degrees. That's 600 degrees.
Well, in time, you will understand why you didn't get to see him. If it was God's reason not to see him, you probably would never forget it. I got to see my brother, and it haunts me. You see what I'm saying? Some things, it's not as bad as we want to see it. It will change your life forever.
Because you can't unsee it.
Yeah, I can't unsee it. I see him all the time, and I see him in his last state. And I'm glad I didn't get to see my mom.
No, you want to remember them the way they were.
Yeah, running, playing, doing this, but the last state I see my brother, it's unbelievable. I cry all the time.
All right, when people say you got to remember him as he was, I want you to think about that. How many times have you seen me with Amari? I was with Amari 7 hours out of my whole life.
Right, but even like looking at pictures of him and stuff, like, I don't think the last thing you would want a memory etched into your head would be something that was not your son, didn't look like him, wasn't. Do you know what we mean? Like, and we mean this in the nicest way. Like, I can, and a lot of people, they do get an option to see him.
Right.
Sometimes.
No,
but if it's really bad, sometimes they're just like, no, they won't. Even with adults, sometimes they won't let the family see the parents see their adult child just because it's just, that bad. So everything happens for a reason.
And some people think that they can deal with it. And I'm a nurse, and I see death a lot. But trust me, some of the things I've seen, you don't want to see it. You think you want to see it. You think, huh?
What about feel it? Which one is worse, seeing it or feeling it every day?
Seeing it is worse. Seeing it,
because you're already gonna feel it, and then to see it on top of feeling it is gonna make it worse. So,
Personally, growing up in Chicago, I've seen a lot of murders.
Right.
I did. I seen a lot of murders. I seen stuff in prison that you would probably wouldn't even believe if I told you.
Right.
See somebody rob somebody in their butt, went in his butt and took the drugs out. How about that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I know God makes, you know,
Right.
I'm not trying to argue about it, but I just want it to be known. You know?
Right. Right.
I mean, that's your right as a parent. If that's what you felt you wanted and you feel like you didn't get that chance, they shut you down. Like,
Right.
I mean, absolutely tell us how you feel. I'm not trying to knock you or anything. I'm just saying from experience.
They said you can see him, but you won't get to see his body. You will only get to see a sheet over his body with the clothes on top. You and Taylor will have to walk in side by side. I said, Taylor, you want to go? She said, I don't know. I said, well, shit, I kind of want to go. But once they told me I won't get to see the actual body, I was like, oh.
Right.
Yeah, you know, but
right.
I just really, because I feel like that would affect, I mean, I'm sorry, like Emmett Till, I seen that. That affected me, Emmett Till. I'm from Chicago. I didn't know that story. But when I seen that picture, you know, it brought reality.
Right.
Like, do you think that would have helped you with your closure, like your mourning, if you were to have been able to see him?
Depending on what path in life I took, because let's say if I went to the streets, that would make me very, very, you know. But what if I could reflect that? You know, what if I was in a church environment or a high school teacher? You know what I'm saying? That's all. I just look at it from different points, but
yeah.
Right.
Try to remember that, you know, God does things in mysterious ways, whether they're good or bad, and we don't agree with them at the time, they make sense later. And it just probably was in your best interest that you didn't have that memory for, you know what I mean?
First, honestly, no, because I'm telling you, it's like, I'm not trying to, I have to argue. I have to, because, but it's not like I'm against you guys. I just have to say, like, once you experience that, you know.
Right.
Right.
I drove hundreds of miles. I passed out 1,500 flyers by hand.
Right.
I broke mothers' hearts on Mother's Day. I passed out 900 flyers.
Right.
On Mother's Day, looking for a child that I didn't know was murdered already.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like the things I seen behind my son, you know, that's all. It's like, because there's a part of you that always says, hey, like I told you guys at the beginning, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
Say,
so do you feel like you would have, like, you still almost don't believe it because you didn't get to see him? Is that like where you're coming from?
No.
He just.
Oh, okay. It's just that was what your wishes were, and you're upset that you weren't able to fulfill them. I get it.
Right.
This is a transition of the mindset that's unexpected.
Yeah.
Like, you got to accept it right now. That's like if I told you, hey, your car's on fire outside, you're going to be like, what?
Right.
Right.
Hey, your roof is on fire. You're going to, huh?
But you know, I can only tell you that the trauma behind seeing a child in whatever state that he's in that state that Amari was in, they know that it can trigger emotions so bad that even though that you're not a bad person, that you might go and do something. So to prevent all of that, especially, you know, like we're looking at the cupcake case.
Real quick, not to cut you off, but look, okay, now think about JV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Terrell told me he loved my son. JV said he loved my son. Whatever. If you love my son, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with he loved my son. So he loved my son,
right?
And my son was murdered. Now he's about to be a father, right?
Right.
So hell yeah, he's raging. You know how mad I get with my children mothers when something goes wrong, but I have to maintain. But
right.
That could affect him in a different way, because I know it's like there's nothing I can do, dirty or this and that. But he don't know. He's not a father.
Right.
He lashing out. Oh, hell no. I know what happened to Amari. Bitch, that ain't never gonna happen to my son. Bitch, you ain't going nowhere. Sit your ass down. Lock the door. Pop her tires.
Right.
You know, because I understand it can push somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, like, everybody don't know my whole story. I've seen so much stuff that, you know, part of me is like, it's,
Okay.
I don't know. It's just hard to talk about without thinking about it first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I just want to say that, like, that's one thing I did think about. Like, damn, JD was affected by Amari, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if I like his ass, you know, I don't like him. He
Right.
was affected by it. Every time he see Taylor, he got to feel that. That's what I think about every time my mom looks at me or my brother looks at me. I know what they thinking about. Hey, or people, hey, that's the guy whose son got killed. So I step back and look like, damn, that could be dangerous for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Then he got to go what I'm going through, like what I went through. Like, damn, I'm in jail and this girl pregnant.
Right.
I should be there for her. I just want to make sure my baby's okay.
Right.
So that it's going to be hard for him. Like, damn.
Right. Somebody was in the chat on the other live said that they wanted, I know this person, but they wanted to know how to get in touch with you. And what do you say about that?
You can give my number because I answer all calls, even spam.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll see what's going on. Maybe we'll see what's going on because I don't know why they want your number. You know what I mean?
I mean, some people, you'd be surprised the questions I get asked, but mostly like in person.
Right.
Some people ask me like, you know, do you wish you never met Taylor? Or, you know,
Yeah.
they ask me crazy stuff. Like, are you still attracted to Taylor?
Yeah.
I'll be like, what the
There's some questions I would like to ask you, but you know, certain things have certain time to it. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. Like, I kind of need it so I can. Like I said, it's something you gotta think about before you respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like if I talk to you guys like once a week, I may be able to say, hey, last week I was wrong about this, or I was wrong about that. I thought it over.
Right.
I don't really like just saying, hey, I don't, you know.
Right.
People would take it and run with it.
Right. But no, we understand. Trust me, we understand. And you know, it just takes time and we just keep moving, keep going and being positive, you know.
Yes.
And we still gonna hang in there and love on you no matter what.
I appreciate it. I just hope everybody continues to pray because I don't think any money, anything can change anything but God, you know?
Right.
Like I said, I cry and I get down on my knees, I pray, and I stand back up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I do. So after that, I really feel better.
Right. I know we have to get off here. We're 36 minutes over time, but I got one thing. Man. Yeah. But I got one thing I want to ask you while you're still on here. Do you see Nicole? Is her name Nicole or Nikki? Or she goes by
Nicole.
Nicole.
She goes by Nikki, but it's Nicole.
Okay. Do you feel like Nicole is going to be in the same situation as Taylor?
Yep.
And that's why you wanted to speak out, you know, speak to her. And
yeah.
Well, I can tell you she's a very independent, strong woman. So I'm not worried about her, like that kind of.
Did
you know what I mean?
Nicole, you said Nicole don't mind him having her number or whatever?
Right. She said go ahead and give him her number and get his number for her so they can call each other and stuff.
Okay. So. Because you know what? I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna get off of here, but you know, sometimes we may not see something, you know, when someone's trying to help from afar or whatever. And You know, to be honest, you know, Nicole is in a bad situation.
Mhm.
In a very bad. I don't know how long JD gonna get. He may not even get that much time. Even if he don't get that much time, it's still a bad situation because, like he said, I mean, you're looking at a couple of things here.
Oh, he's going away for a while, I'm sure. It might take some time before that happens because we're really behind here in Vegas. Everything's slow. There's just the courts are overloaded. But so it's going to be a process. But I really do think he's going away for a little bit.
Putting a gun to.
He wasn't supposed to be around a gun, and then he held one to her head and he strangled her.
And he's putting himself in that situation.
And there was forensics done. So I mean, there's just a lot against him right now.
And then, so what I'm saying is, you know, when you look at, you know, just like when you go to a bank and you want a loan, they look at your history. He didn't have a problem lying, putting an innocent man in jail, keeping him away from his child, raising his child, and then acting like he's an advocate for, you know, the mother.
Yeah.
Now get another young lady pregnant, put a gun to her head, let someone jump and beat on her until she looking black and blue. And
I will tell you something about Nevada. Even if say she drops charges and says, I don't want to press no charges,
the state will pick them up.
DA is already on it. It's not going away.
I understand.
And and they're very hard on you. So,
but and here's the thing, and I'm just gonna say this because every time Taylor went to jail for prostitution, they put it on the news, but I mean it was very small. It was like this small. We had to go find it.
Yeah.
And now this situation with her having a child that was in her custody, and then she went to her mother's house or whatever, but still the child did become injured while she was the sole responsible adult that was supposed to be there. They should have at least had this on the news where everybody would have seen it because of the history of losing a child.
That's the biggest part. Like, that's what, at the end, I remember that night, the day before my son was killed. I said, Taylor, I said, you let him, you see? You let him stay with him. And that's all. I want all the mothers to stop and think. That's it. You know, stop and think. Put that child first.
Right.
Be alert. Listen to your gut. Right. You know, be careful who you have your child around.
Put the child first.
Yes. 100%.
Even with me, that's like if I wanted to go out, I'm stressed out, like, oh, I don't even drink. And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna go out to the bar. And I'm like, nah. Because if I tell my son about that, hey, he ain't gonna be too proud. So I put him first, you see?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I push through with my, if I don't go to work, hey, I can't buy my daughter what she needs. So I put them first. And that's all. Because I feel like if Taylor would have put Amari first, that wouldn't have happened.
Right. Right.
That wouldn't have happened. That's why I'm telling that mother, hey, put that baby first. You ain't going to worry about nothing. It's going to be hard, but you ain't going to worry.
Right. Well, thank you.
I got to take the dog out.
All righty. All right. Thank you.
But thank you guys.
I will take care. And if you need anything, you reach out to us.
Thank you. I don't know but yeah, if everybody has my number and all that, you know, just pass it around.
I will.
But all right, I'm finna take the dog out. Blessings to everybody in the chat. I'm walking around on the phone with my other phone.
Okay, God bless you.
Blessings to you too.
You guys take it easy. And
I thought he was like blessings, and I said, bloop. Well, I am so sorry.
Yes.
Now, you know, people don't understand when a person loses a child. I mean, there's
a mass of emotions.
It affects the whole
Oh yeah, and everybody around them, and you can tell he's going back and forth in his head from his emotions. Still,
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking to see, but it's good to hear him finally tell his story like this, because like he said, he had tried and they were barely putting him up on the news, and then they were making it turn around and make him look bad. And
Yeah, they did. They did. Because I
yeah,
think the first time I seen, and I told him this, they were like, because he was like, if I don't have him, she don't have him, then he's missing. And everybody was like, and you're supposed to be the daddy, you ain't seen this baby. And then she was like, he did this to me and he did that. So people was looking at him kind of crazy,
Yeah.
he beat me and all this other stuff. So
and his sister came and took him, Mari, and yeah.
and and so I'm kind of glad that we shifted to this.
And that probably had to take a lot on the family right there, just being accused of kidnapping him when, yeah.
It did.
So,
It did.
yeah.
The family just, wow.
But I'm glad he knows now how much support he really does have, because I don't know if he realizes,
I don't think
not everybody was judging him.
Right. I don't think he knows that, we can't go back in time and change anything, but
Right.
I think now looking at the situation, sometimes this is what happens. People have to go through something and then they become advocates.
Absolutely.
Now they understand. See, I haven't lost someone of this nature, but I see it around me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and what I went through as a child, that's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
And like he said, like right now, he wished he could have seen his son.
Yeah.
And that's not going to change for a long time. It will change and he will understand, but it's not going to change for him no time soon, because that's what he wanted. And I was the same way with my mom. I didn't get to see my mother. I seen my brother.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see my mother. And I was angry. I was so angry. I even acted on it. I had a kid staying with me and I told him, it was a young man. And I told him, you got to find somewhere else to live, because he blocked me from leaving the house and I couldn't leave, So now I understand it. It just wasn't meant for me to see him. And see my mom, and everything's okay. But, when someone takes a life, that's different than someone naturally die.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've experienced some losses and some stuff, and that's why I advocate. My kids are going crazy. Hold on.
Okay, we're gonna get off of here. She's like, I done told you. I'm on here.
I'm like, you're old enough. You could be respectful now.
All right, Sarah Jean, thank you for taking my call and coming up here.
You're welcome.
No notice. And we just needed to just give him, his questions, and I will give him the numbers that you provide to me, okay?
Okay, I will send that to you.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to, be supportive and, get up here with him and let him tell his side. And the more we speak on this and the more we keep talking about it, it won't just go away like it unfortunately most of the time does.
Right.
So I appreciate what you do, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. And you guys, make sure you thank Giorgio and thank Sarah Jean in the chat for coming on. I know Pecosha went dead and everybody came on over here to YouTube, and I appreciate you guys, but my phone was only about 53%. But and we shifted it. I just wanted to tell you guys thank you. I'm gonna get off of here. You guys enjoy your evening. We will talk more about the Quinton Simon case Wednesday evening. I seen some people were talking about the Kylie case in the chat, and I don't have a problem with that. You guys just make sure you always stay respectful, and you know, that's it. You know, things are gonna get better. They might get worse before they get better, but we're gonna see some beautiful days. You know, and we're gonna respect each other. I appreciate everybody for sharing and coming in here. You guys have a peaceful night. Good night.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
We won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so bright, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this? Now you cannot go
baby,
again.
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled to
who are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?